Welcome, welcome. Hey, profit takers, it's Victoria here. Let me check to make sure I can have audio, that I have audio real quick. All right, it looks a little janky, but there it goes. Hey, profit takers. I know it's a little janky, ghetto how I do this, but it is what it is. Now let's get this party started. All right, guys. So today I posted, let's see, can you see? Oh, that's not what I'm looking at. This is what I wanted to drag on over here. So today in the group, I posted about EC, EN, and GC. Okay, so we got the pound CAD, the Euro New Zealand, the pound New Zealand, and the Euro CAD. Now, all my biases on these pairs from when I was posting them were short, okay? So if we can see right now, when I posted this last night, this thing was looking like it could, let me bring out my pen. I'm somewhat prepared, right? Bring out my pen here. Okay, where are you? All right. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys have had a great trading week so far. All right. Okay, where's my pen? Just opened Epic Pen. That's the pen. There it is. Okay, so this was what I was thinking that was going to happen for the pound CAD. This pair is kind of, I have mixed feelings. I really like trading this pair because it really moves. A lot of people don't like trading it because of the spread. Okay. But I think if you have a pair that has a really good setup, I don't think the spread matters. Me, honestly. So technically, we had a new peak. This was last week. All right. So this is week 1. And now we're into week 2. And typically we're going to have 3 weeks of drop, right? Usually that's how it goes. And especially when we get a reset to the high, I mean, it's just like, it's golden to me, right? So what I was expecting here, I see this thing has drawn here for the market alert. And this particular view here is H4, but I'm going to show you on the live screen here. So last night I was looking at this. I'm like, okay, so if this goes like I was hoping it would come up here. And you can see we have the Asia high and low here, and perhaps, maybe even at, up here at the 1.70 and give us a stop hunt high and then a drop for us to go down to 2 ADR, because usually that is what happens. Okay. Now, oftentimes when price, and also, so now that was my bias. Now I'm not like, okay, if it doesn't happen, it's, it doesn't happen, right? If the reversal comes in, because it's the 3rd day trade, right? Technically, the reversal should be coming in, and sometimes the reversal can happen sooner in the market or later on in the market. Who knows? Okay. So that was my initial bias for a pound. And here's what happened. Okay. So let's see what actually happened today. So I ended up changing my mind on this one because it changed, right? So instead of the market, we didn't get the stop hunt high here early on in the trading session. It's now, getting support here. I don't know if it's going to break it. I don't know, right now, right? It looks like the indicator has changed, but of course, if this high gets taken out, all right, we have there's a different story here, right? Now we're looking to have a short-term, long trend, right? Because we're still in week 2. Like, this is week 2 of the drop. So we could definitely go ahead and climb 3 pushes. So this was a really good example, because oftentimes, like I said last night, it was looking like it was going to come here and perhaps, give us that W and come down, but it did not, right? So this morning when I got to the market, I was just kind of waiting for it to play out. We already had that low that set in, and usually when that happens, you can expect that reversal trade, right? And take it, right? Because technically it's the 3rd day, right? When you look at it that way as well. So the reversal opportunity comes. So it actually was a stop hunt low rise trade. It didn't come up here from Asia and then climb and then drop. It stayed in the low and then it rose. So now waiting for this to get taken out, right, to continue on this bullish trend for this week, right? Now that doesn't mean the overall trend is bull, right? Right now, the short-term trend is bullish, and perhaps it's going to come back up here to these highs from last week. And then once it gets there, then we're going to see another opportunity to short it once more, right? But for right now, you know, this one did not go the way I planned it. So when I saw it this morning, I just changed my mind and decided to go long because of the way the market was moving. And instead of it, like I said, instead of it doing a stop hunt high and, you know, going from here, this, like this, you know, it went this, uh-oh. As you can see, it kind of printed this W to go like that. Okay, so the pattern recognition is very important. Okay, it's very, very, very important to be able to identify these things in real time. And what I also like to do is to use, you know, the previous market structure as my guide, right? So if you can see that the previous day, Monday, we had this area here of liquidity. This is a nice little order block area. We can see it came into the order block area, did another stop hunt low, and then it did not, it didn't break it, right? It just went on up. So this was a great reversal trade to take on today, as opposed to going short. So now I'm just going to wait to see how this market plays out. I'm not going to get too excited on trying to short it just yet. So if it continues to go to climb, then yeah, let's do it. Okay. All right. So what else did we talk about? So EN and GN. So what was I thinking on these two pairs? On this one, bring it up, clear that. So again, this is another one of my favorite trades. Okay, so we had this nice push up here, of course, you know, and again, I believe this was, uh-oh, it's kind of crooked, sorry. You know, this was a week, you know, what did I write here? This, I believe this is also going into week, actually this is, hold on, what did I write? I'm trying to go by memory. I'm sorry, I apologize, y'all. Let's just go back to what I wrote. Reset to the high, also one day from the peak. Again, looking for a stop hunt drop, excuse me, week 2. Okay, so this one, based on last night, again, same thing, guys. I was looking for this to do its little pattern thing, right? And then drop for us. Let's see what happened. All right, let's just go into the chart. Let's pull up GN. Okay. All right, so for some of you all, it was a choppy mess today, kind of, right? So the drop did come. Okay, you did have an opportunity. It did do this sideways of choppiness, right? It wasn't a beautiful drop, right? So it came in, right, you know, into the new session, and it was, you know, a bit choppy, not really sure which way it's going, but, you know, it was giving some stop hunt highs up here. So, you know, if this was a session that you were trading, then you had the opportunity to short this pair, okay? This was where you had the opportunity to short it, and I believe this should have been about market open. So once that drop, that pump here, and then we had that drop here, then it didn't keep going, right? So the price ended up getting support from yesterday's low, pretty much, because these blue lines are the daily highs and lows. So it got support from that area, and then from there the reversal came in, and then you had the opportunity to take this trade long. So this trade gave us 2 opportunities depending on, you know, which session that you were trading. If you came in early on in the session, you were able to short it, and then this looks like around the New York open time, you were able to take the reversal trade. Okay, let's see here. So 1500 is 6. Yep. And then 7 a.m., which is pretty much 8. So you guys know about 8 o'clock in the morning, that's like when between 6 and 7, because I like to come into the market and really pay attention whenever it hits the 1500 mark on my chart, because that mark right there can prepare me for a lot of momentum happens right there. I just don't know why, but it just does. But also 8 o'clock, you know, you often get the like a reversal comes in before the market open, which is kind of weird, right? You get all these different things. So you have, like, they always say between 8 and, yeah, it is about right. You want to be there about 8 o'clock in the morning if you're planning on trading New York, because you're going to get into the pre-market, and that pre-market sometimes that's all you really need, right? And that's just like one of my big goals, right? I want to be able to finish trading by noon. Preferably if I can get it all done within that market open time, even before within the pre-market, even before when the market opens, that is awesome to me. Like, I would love that, you know, but sometimes it doesn't always happen that way. All right. So let's look at EN. That was another one it's week 2 of the drop. And this one kind of played out, you know, a little bit better for the people who were able to take this trade in the London session, right? As you can see, we had this nice, for those of you who like to draw the trend lines, we can see we had, you know, darn near 3 taps to this line right here. So this was like a better, to me, clear setup. Okay, this was a clear setup. So when I'm seeing both of these pairs, like, sometimes people would think that these pairs, whenever you're looking at the same, you know, like GN and EN, sometimes they don't like mimic one another, and sometimes they do, right? They don't always correlate, but sometimes they do. And this one, in terms of this is like one of those channels, right? The downward channels, right? And this was very, very clear. So sometimes you just pick which one looks better and clearer to you, and that's the trade that you're going to take. So you definitely had a stop hunt high here, trade opportunity to take this short. And again, I love it when I see that the quarter points are very close, or maybe the 1s and 2 ADRs are pretty close, because that's usually what I'm going to use for my target, because it just makes sense, right? Those quarter points are always great for support and always great for resistance. And, you know, 2 ADR after, you know, when we woke up, right now it is 2 days, right? But technically, when we were looking at this market, it was 1, right? So usually 1 day after the high or low of the week, I'm expecting it to hit 2 ADR, right? So I always love to use those areas to target. Okay. All right. So the other one we were looking at today was the Euro CAD. I did get some nice pips out of this one. Euro CAD right here. Okay. Before we went to sleep, we were 1 day away. Again, same thing. Still looking for this to give us a stop hunt high and then a drop. Okay, that's exactly what I was expecting from the Euro CAD, and I think this one presented, you know, actually listen to me, right? Let's go see here. See what happened. Let's see, where's Euro CAD? There we go. Now, let me get down to M15. It did happen for me. I was able to take some pips out of here, but it was slow, because it was, you know, day 2. You know, day 2 is usually a pretty good day, but since we had such a big drop on the previous day, you have to remember that when there's a huge move in the market, it's going to chop the next day. There's a saying that I've heard since I started trading. Especially with the market maker strategy, they always say when there's a drop, the market's going to chop. Now, I wasn't expecting it to chop up until today, but good Lord, it did. It chopped up until today. So, but in this area, I did, take this low volume short trade here, and, it took forever. So I finally closed my position. And so now I'm just going to be patient and wait for it to, come back alive, So, and tomorrow, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a pretty good movement long, because as you can see, Wednesday here, today, yeah. So Wednesday here, we're going to look 3 days back, and this is what we're expecting, right? And here's the Asia high and low. Okay. It's another thing. So you can definitely expect prices to come either back to the 180R area in this area that I already previously marked. And I'm trying to see why it won't let me grab it. Okay, I'll just grab another one. Here we go. It could come back to this area of this ADR high, right? It can come back here because we're already at the low, right? And just like we saw in the pound CAD, it went all the way up, right? So this is going to be Wednesday. I am expecting some kind of reversal for this particular pair because we are already at the low. So, I mean, if that is, you know, come on now. Right, it should come up here, or maybe it'll come up here. I don't know how far it will go up, but I'm going to use my first point reference here for market structure to take my target. Okay, anything further than that, I don't know. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So I just go with the first one and then call it a day, right? And then I'll move on to something else. All right, so that is actually I posted like, technically it was, you know, 4 trades that I posted in the locals, what I was thinking that was going to happen, right? Because we had EC, we had 2 of these pairs here because they can sometimes correlate and sometimes not. And I want you to be aware because sometimes one can present the pattern a lot more clear than the other. And we just saw that example, you know, beautifully in how EN gave us a nice channel, right? And we just knew we were going short all day long on that one. Okay. So thanks again for watching. We look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Join me in the locals, guys, right? We welcome you there, and you know, appreciate you all being a part of this community here on YouTube as well. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.